Welcome back. We hope you're getting into the flow of things. For our next keynote, we explore the question, what if the real secret to aging well isn't a secret at all? Longevity expert Libby Heath shares a smart approach to longevity and how to stay forever youngish.
If I could promise you that you would live to be 100 years old, what would the last decade of your life look like? Would you be meeting friends for coffee, taking Tai Chi classes at the park, or playing with your great-grandchildren on the floor? Or would you be confined to a wheelchair, isolated from the world, unable to feed or bathe yourself? Will you be thriving or barely surviving? I have a crystal clear image of what my mid-90s are going to look like. And in this vision, I am able to take my suitcase and put it in the overhead compartment of the airplane bin. And what that vision tells me is I am independent enough to be traveling, strong and agile enough to heave what is usually an overpacked suitcase over my head, and curious enough to be wandering. That is my definition of thriving. Now, some of you may be thinking, who is this woman, and why should we even be listening to her? And those are fair questions, because I've done no groundbreaking research. I've never written a book. I'm clearly not a professional speaker, but there is one achievement that I can claim that none of the other speakers today can make. I've had the most birthdays. I've had the most birthdays, and yet I feel like I'm in the prime of my life. I am energetic, I am curious, and I am strong. And I may have old lady hair, but the rest of my body is convinced that it is still young. And when I think that I am less than 30 years away from being in my 90s, the only part about that that troubles me is that does not give me enough time. There are still so many things that I want and need to do. So I'm going to bring to you what I know from experience and wisdom. And I'm going to make 3 points that I hope you will remember and act upon so that you will be on a path to thriving. But let's go to the basics first. There are no two of us alike in the world. We all have unique biologies, and as we age, those biologies are constantly changing. So if you want to thrive, you need to understand your own biology and to know what's happening within your body and on the outside. And how do you do that? You test. You don't guess. You let evidence invite action. Now, there are hundreds, if not thousands, of available tests that can give you insight into your health and well-being, but I have 4 favorite tests that give you a good idea of actually how well you are aging. 2 of them are free. My first favorite freebie test is to see how long you can hold a dead hang. If you don't know what a dead hang is, all you need is a pull-up bar. You reach for the bar, palms facing away, extend the arms, lift your legs, and hold. Very simple exercise, but it's actually investigating a lot about how well you're aging. The grip strength alone is a great proxy for understanding how much muscle mass you still have. The fact that your brain, your muscles, and the nerves have to connect and are wired together to give you that ability to hold on for a long time is a test to your neuromuscular connections. And the fact that your arms are extended with weight is a test on your shoulder mobility. So that very simple test alone is very revealing. If you can't get your arms overhead or hold for more than a few seconds, that's a wake-up call that needs to be answered. I have a goal for myself to dead hang for 2 minutes. And right now, my personal best is 1:48. So my first challenge to all of you is to beat the grandmother. Try and do it yourself. My second favorite free test is determining how well you can do an Asian squat. That's another one that's very revealing. And all you need to do that is have a floor. And in case you don't know what an Asian squat is, you stand with your feet slightly wider than the shoulder, keep your chest up, your heels down, and lower. Now you can hang out here for a little while if it feels good because you're stretching through your low back and you are unloading through your vertebra, gently decompressing. And as you rise, you're working through your quads, your hamstrings, your glutes, and your core. Easy, right? I suspect some people are going to go home tonight and practice this and go, ooh, wait, she made it look so easy. And that's okay. You don't have to be able to do this now, but I encourage you to practice until you can, because my next challenge for you is to do 3 Asian squats every day. For example, while you're waiting for the shower water to warm up, just squat down, come back up. Later on in the day, when you're waiting for something in the microwave, squat down and then come back up. And last, when you're brushing your teeth before you go to bed, before you do anything else, 1 more deep squat and 1 more lift. And I don't have the science to support this, but I am convinced if you do 3 Asian squats every day for the rest of your life, you will have no mobility issues. My third favorite test, you have to pay for this one, but it's learning what your biological age is. With a biological age test, it's a blood test that looks at markers and calculates what your biological age is. When you compare it to your chronological or real age, sometimes that gives you information that you're pleased about, sometimes not. The better you take care of your body, the younger you are, but then the reverse is also true. My biological age is 20 years younger than my actual age. Thank you. And that did not happen overnight. I love it because it tells what I've been doing for the last 40 years is working. So that motivates me to stay on task, keep doing what I'm doing, so that when I am in my 90s, I'm really only going to be in my 70s. And my fourth favorite test, and I wish everyone could just do this automatically, is to get a DNA wellness test. What that does is go into your genetic profile and determine how your body is wired to respond to things like nutrition, exercise, stress even, sleep, or toxins. And it also looks for predispositions to certain diseases like cancer or heart disease, not as a diagnostic tool, but as an early warning system, so prevention can start early. The thing about the DNA test is you only need to do it once. because your genetics stay the same. But how your genes are expressed is very changeable, which takes me to my next message. Genetics load the gun, but lifestyle pulls the trigger. How you live your life and the choices you make have an enormous impact on your health and longevity. What you eat, how you move, the quality of your sleep, your social relationships, how you manage stress, and even avoiding toxins are all connected and deeply interdependent. You can't out-exercise a poor diet. And when stress intrudes on your sleep, so much so that things start falling apart. And you could be perfectly disciplined in so many ways, but if you are lonely, sometimes an entire bottle of wine feels like your only friend. So lifestyle matters greatly. You don't have to be perfect, because it's not possible, plus that would be no fun. But if you are mostly good, most of the time, over the long haul, that yields such an advantage. That's where that 20-year younger biological age came from. Which takes me to my next point. Aging is inevitable, but how you age is optional. You don't want to stop aging, because you know what that means. But how you think of aging and how you embrace it is so key. And your mindset, your belief that it is your destiny to thrive is the most powerful weapon you have in your health arsenal. You have more power than you think. Plus, you are not alone on this journey. Your future self is watching and wondering, where are you on this journey, and what will my last 10 years be like? Test, don't guess. Genetics load the gun, but lifestyle pulls the trigger. Aging is inevitable, but how you age is optional. Now, if you do make it to the age of 100, and I can't promise that you will, don't live in silence and shadows. Instead, live in laughter and light, and choose thriving over surviving, starting today. Ka.